Three apparatus from today. Pommel horse first. After where are you going? So the Mikulak style elements, as you know from Antwerp and Liverpool, there were some challenges about the gymnast not arriving in support position and the leg hitting the horse and therefore potentially not validating the element. Again, we've seen it in a couple of the World Cups. So watch out for the Mikulak style element. Let's show you some examples. So 5/10 on all three of those examples. Handstand, dismount. Let's have a look at some examples. Recognition or not recognition. Cool. Show again. So hits the horse and lifts, non-recognition. And again, hits the horse, lifts, non-recognition. Scissors through handstand, lots of discussions over the last year or so about these. Let's have a look. So complete hip bend, 0.5. Starts off well, and then there's a clear hip bend for 3/10. Again, nice example. Slight hip bend, maybe harsh, but he starts off straight, slight hip bend for 0.1. What we haven't shown there is non-recognition. In theory, as the D judges will know, the feet coming through the handle will be non-recognition. We can talk about that at the table. Okay, travel in and from cross support. Newsletter 3. No deduction from angular deviation during any travel started in cross support when the deviation is as a result of the stepping action, either forwards or backwards. You're very experienced, you know this rule, it's fairly clear, but again, we have got a video of a good example and a not so good example. Start position, no deduction for the step, but in front support clearly there's a deviation. good example. Remember, up to 15 degrees is acceptable. Okay, really clear. Body extension. Ideally, circles and flares must be performed with complete extension, and we could have a long discussion about what complete extension looks like, recognizing some gymnasts are exceptional. That doesn't mean everyone has to be exceptional, but a good extension is required. A lack of amplitude in body is deducted as an individual deduction for each element. So clearly a flop sequence, we only take the deduction once. A travel, you only take the deduction once. Leg separation, separate deduction. I think this is a good example. It's not exceptional, but it's good circling. No deduction in front support. And here you can see the hip bend starting to come in as he gets maybe a little bit tired. Not such good circling. Again, across one element, not just each circle. So flares, starts off really well. So again, each element treated separately, and that's, I think, the repeat of the same element. Okay, so that's Pommel horse. Let's come out of that, move on to vault. So on vault, for those of you who've done vault recently, particularly at World Championships, Young-Soo has done a great job redefining and re-clarifying how the vault can be deducted more accurately by splitting the thinking into 4 phases. Phase 1, first flight, support phase, body position passing through handstand. Second phase about height, and third phase about landing preparation. Here, the input is not detailed into the 4 sections, it's just a straight input 1.6. But clearly in your thinking, when you're doing your deductions, it's really useful to use those 4 sections in applying the deductions. First flight, let's have a look at splitting of the legs. On entry here, clearly legs together, no deduction. Slight separation 0.1, stronger separation 0.3, and then obviously over 45 degrees becomes 0.5. You know this. But again, it's always good to focus on that first phase. Often judges can be more focused on the second phase and forget the deductions that are possible in that first phase. Also, don't forget bent knees, legs apart, feet and other deductions, and we've just got a few videos to show. So there's a clear 0.5, feet as well. So yeah, feet, bent knees, legs apart, 0.5. Just first phase. Feet bent, legs apart, and a clear knee bend as well. Moving on to second flight phase, the height. Again, rise, a really clear, conspicuous rise of the body, and what Yunsu's done is tried to show the different phases and how the height can be differentiated. Clearly good height, well prepared, good clean landing. So the hips rise, but not quite as much as the previous gymnast for 0.1. Again, hips lower, feet not so high. 0.3. You can guess what this one's going to be. Feet not even above the horse. 3 or 5, I think probably 5 would be a fair deduction. Then let's have a look at low landings. We mentioned this on Wednesday in terms of the expectation of a good landing, well prepared landing, and we want to really differentiate between those low landings which don't become a fall and the 5/10ths. So clearly 0.5 plus lack of preparation. I'm sure there's probably some other deductions in there as well. Let's look at landings, steps, deviations and other deductions. The only thing he didn't do there was fall. So preparation clearly for landing, legs apart in the air, and although he did many steps, as you know, we only take a maximum of 1 bar for steps and hops, and therefore he doesn't get penalised for not falling. So, incomplete twist, plus a step, plus preparation for landing, preparation, deviation, large step for 7/10 deduction. So that's vault. Let's have a quick look at high bar. So the element on a high bar that is probably the most in focus at the moment is the Tkachef. Must be performed with a straight body as the feet pass over the bar. Deceptive, often it looks fine, but actually in slower motion, the body is often bent. 45 degrees becomes, or greater than 45 degrees becomes non-recognition. So here it looks maybe okay, probably very small, that that photo on the top right there, very small. Maybe he starts off really straight. As he moves across the bar, there's a slight bend, and to many judges that might be okay, but actually he's got a 62-degree body bend, and therefore would not be recognised. And again, there's the E-jury deductions, depending on whether, and this is not just a D-jury issue, this is an E-jury issue. You have to define whether you believe he's attempted a straight catch-off and therefore will have deductions on one side, or whether he's done a pike catch-off and therefore less deductions. That's an area you have to identify as well. So look at some examples is the best way to show it. Good or not good? Good. Yeah. Straight. Yeah, really nice and straight. There is an issue that the back generally rounds, and therefore sometimes it's hard to differentiate the line between the shoulders and the hips. But again, let's show that again. It's a really good example. Good or not good? So clearly, more than 45 degrees, nearly 90. And clearly he's attempting a pike, not straight, so there's no ambiguity. Okay, angular deviations. I'm not going to go through all this, you know very well. For turns, 1, 15 to 30 degrees, 30 to 60.3, 60 to 90.5, and below horizontal becomes a 0.5 E deduction, and of course non-recognition by the D jury. Some examples. Always when it's double L grip, they tend to be very late. Okay, I thought that wasn't going to stop that video. Okay, so obviously the last code, lots of deductions for late turns, because lots of gymnasts are doing late turns now, less turning, lots of release and catches. So the focus moves then towards grip changes and movements along the bar. Let's look at grip change first. So Zuli Min to mixed grip and then arm change, point 1. Adler full, grip change. Gymnast swings around, then that's okay, and you can change afterwards. Acceptable. And then finally, hand adjustments. There should be no adjustment across the bar. And again, good examples picked out by books that show the changes. Point 1. Very clear. Not sure where he's got that video from. Black and white. Again, I'm not sure all the coaches and gymnasts understand this deduction, so definitely worth having a discussion back at your country. Difficult, that one. I'm not sure how you do that without moving your hands. Okay, so that's the 3 apparatus. Any questions?